All women face a unique situation in the workplace, pregnancy and maternity discrimination. According to a Morning Consult survey, 20% of moms have experienced pregnancy discrimination at work. 21% were scared to tell their employers about their pregnancies due to fear of discrimination or retaliation. So one attorney has made it her job to speak up for those who are voiceless. Attorney Daphne Delvaux is known as the Mamattorney. She joins us now to help women and families navigate the system. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Daphne, you have become the go-to expert on mothers' rights at work. Was there something that kind of inspired you to follow this path?
It was truly my own motherhood experience when I was pregnant and I was a senior attorney at an employment law firm. I started to have these conversations with other mothers, and I realized that the information is not easy to find and not really easy to understand either. So I started to look into some of these issues related to maternity regulations, benefits programs, and the protections of mothers. And I decided to make this my niche. And from there, I started to share my roadmap, and we've been able to get so many mothers to protect their jobs, to get maximized leave, improved benefits, flexibility, and remote schedules.
Is there any legal way a company, though, can demote a woman or change her role when she returns from, let's say, maternity leave?
A company is not allowed to demote a woman after leave because she has reinstatement rights. So she has to be returned to the same or comparable position. Even if she was replaced during leave, she does have to be returned to her job. The only legal way to demote someone after leave is if there was a company-wide reorganization that impacted everyone.
What would you say are the three biggest mistakes that women make when planning for their leave?
The first one is to not be prepared. Your employer is going to only be able to help you if you help them. So, for example, you don't want to ask your employer for the maternity leave policy because that is kind of meaningless. You want to know what your rights are. And in the state of New York, for example, there are a lot of benefits that people just don't know. Moms often assume that they don't have paid leave rights just because that's what they hear. But in the state of California, there is a paid leave program that allows mothers to take many weeks of paid leave, up to 26 weeks of disability leave with extension, or 12 weeks of paid leave under the paid family leave program. They also can pump for 3 years. Pumping time must be paid. They just passed a law to provide paid leave for prenatal care. So there are all of these state rights that mothers are not aware of. And it's so important that you know your state rights, and then you go to your employer, and from an educated place, you say, these are my rights. Can we help figure this out together? Instead of going to your employer and just assuming they will figure it out for you. In the end, it is your job to protect your job and to protect your baby. And assuming that the employer will know all of this is not reasonable. So this is one of the issues that I see with mothers, is that they're just putting all of these expectations on the employer, and the employer also is not an expert on employment law. So you do need to actually find your own experts and then have a very productive conversation with your employer.
So you mentioned finding your own experts, but how do you suggest women really advocate for themselves to protect their career and their child?
I advise that they go to some of my resources. The Momstitution is a download that I have on my website. They can find through Instagram. And also, you want to make sure that you look at your state benefit program. So that exists in the state of New York, and you want to make sure that you know what your benefit system looks like. And then you want to make sure that you present that to your employer. And you don't want to wait too long for announcing these issues or for giving notice of your pregnancy, because then you're actually not giving your employer a lot of time to help you. And that can actually increase the chances of discrimination, because they might be resentful that you waited too long, which is difficult to bridge a labor gap. They have to figure that out operationally. It is going to be a challenge. And the more you can help them help you, it's going to be easier to protect your job. It's also a good time to showcase how valuable you are. You can really show just how vital you are to the organization by showing them everything that you do, and then by preparing your own leave plan so that they know how to cover your job while you're out.
All right. Well, Daphne, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much.
And for more tips on family leave, you can follow the Mamattorney on Instagram. The information is right there on your screen.